Alofa hiatu and no mai hoki mai. Welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I am so grateful that you are here. Thank you so much for being here. And oh my goodness, if I was on your Spotify Wrapped, I love you so much. Thank you so much for messaging me, for sending me your lovely messages and tagging me and showing me that. I honestly appreciate it so much. Like, there's so many podcasts out there. So even you being here right now and listening to this podcast episode, like, thank you so much for me to show up in your Spotify Wrap, like, that absolutely means the world. And on a podcast perspective as well, I got our Wrapped and we have grown so much this year. So I am so grateful forever and forever and forever. I will be grateful. So thank you so much for being here. On this week's podcast episode, we are talking about how to navigate this holiday season with those family members and those friends that are fatphobic or do have something to say about your weight and what you eat and the way you look and all the things, because I know it can be daunting. It can be like, oh fuck, I've got to go to Christmas with my dad's side of the family, and my auntie always comments on my weight, and it's so annoying and exhausting, and or you're just in this, you're tense the whole time because you're waiting for it. It's like you're waiting for them to say something, and it's like it ruins the day, it ruins the vibe, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you might even like hide, or you might not even want to go, and you stop going to those events because of these people. And it's like, okay, I'm going to give you the tools today to show up to those spaces confidently and to stand up for yourself, right? And in the most beautiful way as well. It doesn't have to be conflict. It doesn't have to be a fight. It just has to be like that's not okay, and on with yourself. Right? You deserve to show up to these spaces and not have people commenting on your weight. You deserve to exist without people commenting on your weight and for them to think that it's okay. And it might be that for years they've done this and you haven't said anything. And I understand why you haven't said anything. It is hard to say something, but this is the year where things change. This is the year where you exist and you don't apologize for existing, where you show up as your fully expressed self, where you don't hold back, you don't hide, and all the things. So if you know that you're going to Christmas with your dad's side of the family and your auntie always says something about your weight, or whoever it is, I want you to think about the family member or friend. If you know that they're going to do it, you got two options or two things that you can do. You can preempt, you can message them and have a conversation before the day. So you can send them a text, or you could call them and say, hey, are you free on this day? I want to have a meeting with you. There's something I need to talk about, right? So you can do that before the Christmas day. And then when you go to the meeting, when they say, yeah, let's catch up, blah, 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 at the meeting, you just literally, I want you to take responsibility for who you have been being in that relationship, and I want you to set the boundary. So you and your auntie sort of day before, prior, you sit down, and I want you to make sure this is a meeting without, your kids around. It's just you two. This is serious shit. And a lot of times people would say to me oh, you're so over the top. Oh, you make a big deal out of nothing. No, this is my life. This is me existing. This is me enjoying my Christmas. This is a big deal to me. This is a fucking big deal. So fucking sit down and let's have this conversation, right? So you show up to the meeting and you take responsibility for how you're being and you set the boundary. So you're sitting in front of your auntie. You're like, hey, auntie, I really wanted to sit down with you today. There's something really important that I want to talk about. And firstly, I want to start by saying that I know for years I've allowed you to comment on my weight. For years, I've never really said anything. You might not even know that it's not okay for you to comment on my weight, but please don't comment on my weight anymore. But it's not okay for you to comment on my weight. When you comment on my weight, it actually makes me feel bad. I don't feel good. You ruin my day. It ruins my mood. I want to exist without my weight always being the topic of discussion. Whatever it is, I want you to tell them, and I want you to set the boundary. So if you do decide, or if you do continue to comment on my weight, then I will not talk to you. Then you're not invited over, or then you're whatever it is. Then I will not show up. I will not greet you when I see you at family events. We will not have a relationship. Whatever the boundary is for you. And I want you to go there. Because, you being like, you might even hear that and be like, oh, that's a little bit harsh, Leash. I'm going to talk to your auntie because she says you're fat now and again. It's like, no, that's a fucking big deal. If you keep showing up to a space and someone's talking shit about you, that's not okay. And yeah, you're better off without them in your life. That's for damn sure. And I know it's really hard in your culture, in the Polynesian culture, in the Pacific Island culture. It's like your elders, your family members, they mean the world to you. You do anything for them, not on this instance. No fucking way. If someone's disrespecting you, you need to put yourself first every fucking time. And unpopular opinion, but if it's your mom and your dad, you need to say bye to your mum and dad. You need to not have a relationship with your mum and dad if they're going to always be that way, if they disrespect you. So, that's one of the options. Have a meeting before, set the boundary. If you show up on Christmas Day, she talks about your weight. You say, hey, auntie, remember that conversation we had about the weight? If you keep continuing to do that, we're not gonna have a relationship. If she keeps continuing it, okay, relationship done. You have to stick to that boundary. You have to do the thing. If you set a boundary and they keep crossing it, you have to implement whatever it is. So if she keeps doing that, no more talking to auntie. No more relationship with auntie. No more being around auntie. Auntie's not a part of your life anymore. Right? So you have to stick to that boundary. Because if you don't, you are going to, people are going to be like, oh, she doesn't keep her boundary anyway, whatever. People aren't going to take you seriously if you don't keep your boundaries. So you need to keep that boundary. So that's the first option. The second option is to be geared up for the day, to say something, to have a routine or whatever, for when you walk in the door and your auntie says, oh my gosh, bub, you're so fat. What have you been doing all year? You've been eating? For you to just straight off the bat be like, hey auntie, that's not okay. Please don't comment on my weight. Straight off the bat, that is all. And then walk away. If you don't want to have that conversation, walk away. You say that, you walk away. If they do it again, say that, walk away. Right? Someone else says it, say that, walk away. Right? And you don't have to be like, hey, auntie, that's not okay. Please don't comment on my, whatever you feel called to do. You could use a bit of humor if you're humor. It's 2024 and you're still commenting on people's weight. Oh, I see you didn't take I see this year you didn't learn about fat phobia, or you didn't level up your life, or you didn't do something with your, whatever you want to say. But my go-to is always like, hey, that's not okay. Please don't comment on my weight. Hey, that's not okay. That's a funny thing to say. I haven't seen you all year, and that's the first thing you want to say. However you want to do it, say the one-liner, and that's going to be your one-liner every single time. Pull out that one-liner. And walk away. Like if somebody's having a conversation, and actually I do this at Christmas parties a lot. If people are having a conversation that you don't want to be around, if they're talking about other people's weights or other people in general, get up and move. Get up and go to a new conversation. Get up and leave. Right? You don't have to be around those people. You get to choose where you want to put your energy. So get up and move. Right? So you can get up and move, or you can just change the conversation. If you still want to be in the conversation, let's talk about something else. Change the conversation. So I want you to show up to these spaces and know that it is not okay for people to comment on your weight. You do not have to put up with your auntie always commenting on your weight every Christmas. That is not okay. So this is the year where you say something, where you stand up for yourself, where you don't take the disrespect. Right? Stand up for yourself and be confident. And also, I want to say, if you need help with this and be feeling confident to do this, come and join me in Destination Self-Love. But nothing changes if nothing changes, right? If you allow your aunties to keep talking about yourself, keep talking shit about you this year, you bet next year's going to be the same. And the year after, and the year after. And you're going to keep being like, oh, fuck, this Christmas lunch. Where just one conversation, it might feel hard, it might feel weird and awkward and all the things, and there might be backlash. But if it protects your peace If it's for you, if it's you standing up for what is right, if it's you standing up for yourself, if it's you having self-respect, do it. 100% of the time, do it. Say something. Don't allow people to just walk around and disrespect you. Like, nah, fuck that. Right? It's not okay to comment on my weight. Please don't comment on my weight. You can say it in the most kind and nice way as well. I always say, Hansi, I love you, but please don't comment on my weight. It's not okay. It doesn't make me feel good. And I always leave with a, I love you. And this is the reason why I'm saying this is because I love you. I want to keep this relationship with us. So you need to stop commenting on my weight. Otherwise, we can't. We can't hang around. We can't be friends. We can't be in a relationship, whatever it is, right? So that's what I want to give to you today. If you need help with this, please message me. Please come into Destination Self-Love, and we can work on this together. You can get more support and assistance with this. But the main message is to know that you deserve to show up to Christmas and to the party and to around your family members and be able to exist without people commenting on your weights, without people commenting on the food that you're eating or the way you live your life, right? You get to show up and fucking exist and be. So I love you. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. Ngā mihi nui kia koe. Have an amazing Christmas. Actually, I'm going to talk to you before Christmas. This is only coming out on the 11th or 12th of December or whatever. So we will speak again, actually. Let me have a look. This is coming out on the 10th. On the 10th. Oh, I also want to say, if you want to come and be a part of Destination Self-Love, we have a call going down this weekend from when you hear this podcast. It's all about unlearning your insecurities, unlearning those insecurities that were placed on you, the programming, the conditioning, the mocking, the fat phobia, all the things. Like, it's going to be fucking incredible. So if you want to come be a part of that, if you want to be on that call, please message me. I would love to have you there. But that is all. Ka kite, koe kia!